Every year, the juries and televoters disagree to a certain extent, and 22 is no exception. Let's take a look at it. What are the biggest disagreements in the Eurovision Song Contest 2022 between televoters and the juries? Let's talk Eurovision. Hey everyone, Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. Yes, we do that every year, and before we move on to the 23 season of the contest, we gotta take a little bit of a look back and see what happened, what has transpired. And of course, as always, there are jury favorites and televote favorites. Sometimes they align, oftentimes they do not. This year, once again, plenty of disagreements, and I want to go for them real quick with you. We're going to look at them from a ranking position perspective as well as points. Two different kind of ways to measure it. Especially this year, it's a little odd, could be a little skewed, the numbers with Ukraine sucking most of the points, but we'll do it anyway because it's fun. Let's start with the positioning though. And also, where did the televoters and juries agree the most? First, let's start with that. There is basically a tie in 24th place, and that first one is Armenia, Snap. The televoters put it in 17th, the juries in 16th, only one position disagreement. So overall, they were kind of like, yeah, this is where it belongs. She dropped a little bit once they were combined, of course, with points and all that stuff, but at least in terms of positioning, that is where the agreement comes into play. Also in agreement for the most part in terms of positioning is the host nation, Italy. Mahmood and Blanco scored in 8th place with the televoters, 7th with the juries, also just one position difference. So it's pretty darn close overall, though I think they came 6th, so it did work out for them. That's why the points are probably a little bit more significant here. And then the only country this year where the televoters and jury said this is the proper position, this is where the song belongs, is Spain. Chanel's SloMo. 3rd with the juries, 3rd with the televoters, and guess what? 3rd with everyone combined as well. So it was meant to be bronze medal for Spain, their best result since 1995. Holy smoke. So we're very happy for them and clearly deserved. There was no disagreement whatsoever. But you're here to look at the biggest disagreements. Let's go for them real quick. In 5th place, and we have a tie there. First up, Portugal, Maro, 3rd song of the night, really scored well with the jury's 5th place. The televoters, not sure it was the running order or they just didn't get it quite as much. 15th place overall, therefore a 10 position difference. Same goes for Subwoofer from Norway. Give that wolf a banana. 10 position difference. The televoters quite liked it. 7th place. Then the juries, on the other hand, said, no. 17th place. And there you have it. We also have a tie for 3rd place. And that is a 13 position difference for both countries. First up, Azerbaijan. And yes, Fade to Black. And I know we're still talking about the 0 points in the semis, but Azerbaijan was very popular, or I should say quite popular with the juries. They actually said this is a top 10 worthy entrance, putting it in 10th place. The televoter said, you know what, let's not do that, and put it in 23rd, so 13 positions off. That is quite a lot. They did not like that ballot a whole lot, the televoters. Speaking of ballots not very well liked by the televoters, Switzerland may not come as a surprise. It's on the list here. Marius Bear got not a lot of love from the televoters. As a matter of fact, it finished in dead last in the televote, unfortunately. But the jury said, hey, come on, this is way better than you guys give credit for. And they put it technically on the left side of the scoreboard, 12th place. So also 13 positions difference there. Then the silver medal in terms of biggest disagreements this year, I think we've seen that country before on the list, is Australia. Sheldon Riley, not the same. Once again, the juries like this significantly better, putting it in 9th place. Second to last for the televoters. Once again, the televoters just were not as much into ballots this year, and that makes it a 15 position difference. There you have it. But there is one country where there is the biggest difference of the year, and that is Moldova. Did not really make a stop at the jury's destination because 20th place. That's all Moldova got from the juries, while the televoters loved it, giving it the silver medal, 2nd place. That means, do your math, 18 position difference. That is significant. That is a large number. There were only 5 occasions where the difference was even bigger since we had the introduction of this, system of jury and televoters both voting. It's Austria 2011, Ukraine 2018, Australia 2017, Sweden 18, and Poland 2016. So it's not the worst disagreement, but it is quite significant and the biggest one in terms of position. But let's take a look at points, because that can often tell quite a different story. And first up, let's see where the televoters and the jury said, yeah, we're on the same page. Starting in 24th place is Spain once again. They completely agreed in the position, and there were only 3 points off. 228 from the televoters, 231 from the juries. And that is wild. That's just wild to me, because when you have such a large number of votes, over 200, and yet both groups ultimately almost agree, that is significant. Once again, it just says this is well deserved. There is a consensus here that this is where it needs to be. Then in 25th place, actually, France, one of the big 5s. Unfortunately, it's on the other end of things, because France only got 8 from the televote, 9 from the juries in terms of points, so they only had a 1 point difference. They just said, we didn't get it, we just didn't get the song, so it is what it is. And then there's only one song this year where both the televoters and the jury said this is the appropriate amount of points, and that one is for Iceland. 10 from both groups, then combined 20. Not necessarily something to brag about, but it's just interesting to see neither of them gave it a whole lot of points. They said, yep, 10 points, that's all you get, move on. So, yep, that is the smallest disagreement this year. But let's talk about the top 5 of biggest disagreements, because that's way more interesting. In 5th place, with a difference of 121 points. Mentioned that country before, it's Australia. And yes, they got the 2nd biggest gap in positions, but only the 5th largest difference in terms of points. Once again, the juries thought it was a fantastic song, giving it 123 points. And the televoters, 2 points. Do the math. 123 minus 1. Carry 1 over. No, you don't carry anything over. It's 121 points difference. That is a big number, but clearly not the biggest one, because we got 4 more. In 4th place, the largest difference in points, another country mentioned, Portugal, Maro. As I mentioned before, the jury's very fond of it. Top 5, 171 points. Gotten a little bit forgotten and overlooked by the televoters, receiving 36 points. That means 135 points difference there. 4th place. It's the 3rd biggest difference in the televote versus juries. Bratislava. Serbia went huge with the televote despite the big suck of the points towards Ukraine. They still received 225 points. That is a whole lot of points. The juries were a little bit more reserved. Could be worse, of course. Got 87 points. That means the difference in points, 138. 3rd biggest disagreement. Number 2, I'm going to tell you right now, 225 points difference. That is the 6th largest disagreement ever in the history of the contest. It's Moldova once again. Shouldn't come as a surprise, considering that was already, they were on the list before as our number 1, but they're only the 2nd biggest in terms of points. 239 from the televote. We were all going crazy when the votes came in. On the other end, the juries were like, 14. That's all you get. So 225 point difference. Holy smokes. But the number 1, the biggest difference in disagreement in points, probably maybe a little bit more predictable or expected, Let's put it out there. It is the winning song, Ukraine. But that has to do with the fact that virtually everyone voted for Ukraine this year. I think 28 out of 39 countries gave Ukraine 12 points. So it was virtually impossible for the juries to keep up with that. So 439 points from the televote. Still got a good result from the juries as well, 192. But the gap is just so big that it was just the biggest disagreement of the year. 247 points. 247 points. That's a lot. And interesting enough, one of the biggest disagreements in the history of the contest, but not the biggest one. It's only number 2 with 247. There's still one song that got a bigger number than Ukraine. Give you 2 seconds to think about it. It's Kaino, Norway 2019. Spirits in the Sky, 251 points. So Ukraine, Stefania will now be the number 2 biggest disagreements. But again, take it with a grain of salt because, you know, it was such a big year and they did really well with both groups. Just the televoters just went boom. So that's what I have for you. Which one surprised you the most? Or mention some of the other ones that didn't come up. Would love to hear from you. As always, thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe, help us stay relevant throughout the year in the Eurovision world. Until next time.